guys have heard us talk about our Immeasurably More Building Project that we're doing in Parkland. And if I can just be real with you guys, it is so scary as leaders and as pastors to stand up in front of your church and say, hey, will you guys be part of this? Will you guys give towards this? Will you guys invest in this? Because the last thing that we ever want is for somebody to step into a place and feel like, oh, all that church wants is my money. Because that is not our heart. And as I sat down this week and I was thinking about something being useful and beneficial to others, I thought about TJ and I's faith journey. And the things that God has asked us to continue to do. And I said, Lord, I'm scared to share about Immeasurably More. I'm scared to ask people to be part of that. And I just sat down and I started writing and saying, what would I share? What would I share if I had the courage to do that? And I just began to write, and page after page, and God said, I want you to share it. So I'm going to jump out of my box, and I'm going to share it. It says, when God called TJ and I to start this church about 8 years ago, it took a huge act of faith. See, we knew that God called us, but it wasn't easy to leave the comfortable for the unknown. It was going to cost us everything that we had to move to a place where we knew no one, to do something that we had never done. It was scary. And every bit of it was a risk. But because of our faith that is anchored in something so secure, we could step out in confidence knowing that God had a plan. See, his plan was for each of you to be here today. His plan was for marriages to be restored through this church. His plan was for addictions to be broken through this church. His plan was for your kids to find relationship with Jesus through this church. His plan was for people that they would step through the doors of this church and they would find him. His plan never ends, and actually it seems like it only requires more and more faith from us. It was a huge step a couple years ago when we stepped out in faith, when we weren't even ready to start our Pompano Beach campus. Because God knew that the people that were going to walk through the doors and find him, and find community and find healing. See, faith is risky. And again, God's stretching our faith by building this facility in Parkland. And honestly, it's beyond us. It's stretching us. But every time God's asked us to step out in faith, he's provided through his people. And every step of the way, it hasn't been about a new church plant or a new campus or a new building. It's been about the people. The people that he loves. The people that he wants a relationship with. The church plant, the campus, the building, that's just the tool. Because he sees every single name. He saw your name. He sees every person that will step into that place, every name of every person. And every name has a story, and every story matters to him. God always asks us to step out in faith for the benefit of others. And this is what I want to ask my church, but I'm scared. I wonder if you would step out in faith with us to help build the tool that God is going to use to change kids, to change families, to change marriages, to form future marriages. See, we need your faith. With our faith to make this happen, we need you to pray with us. That God continues to go before us as we move forward, that even now we can make a difference in that community. We need you to pray about how God would want you to be a part through giving. Will you give towards the future of what God is going to do through this church? Will you be a part of making an eternal difference for the names that God already sees? Will you be an active part of the immeasurably more that God wants to do in this church?